A good morning, community. Welcome to Second Chance Stroke Survivor Experience. I got a special treat for you. You always hear the saying, brother from a different mother. Well, this is my sister from a different mother. Her name is Melisa Troupe. She's a she's a life and coach and an amazing person. Probably the only person I met in the 10 years of me serving the stroke community that had a very similar experience. Brain aneurysm, stroke, near death experience, everything. So I'm going to be playing my really, I can't wait for you to meet her. So let's get into it. Then there is the start of the show. Melissa Troupe, how you doing, sister?
Doing awesome, Aaron. How are you?
Really good, doing good. Really great. We only have 30 minutes here, and I'm excited about having you here. And just so everybody knows, what I'll be going over, we're going to talk very briefly about Melissa's brain injury and stroke. And I told her in agreement, I want to have her back on the show to really take a deeper dive into her brain injury. But thank you for being here, Melissa.
I'm honored to be here, and I'm honored to share my journey with all of you today.
Well, let's start by you introducing yourself.
Yeah, my name is Melissa, and I'm a survivor of a life-altering ruptured aneurysm and stroke. Against all odds, with just a 4% chance at life, sorry, get a little emotional, I embarked on a journey of recovery and not only saved my life, but transformed it in ways I could have never imagined. As a certified emotion code practitioner, mental health coach, and clinical hypnotherapist, I have dedicated my life to helping others find their path to healing and fulfillment. I specialize in a unique form of immersion coaching, utilizing my deep understanding of neurolinguistic programming to support my clients in overcoming their challenges and achieving goals. Today, I want to share my story of resilience and my stroke journey as I turned adversity into opportunity to make positive impacts in my own life and the lives of my clients. So to dive right into this journey, on July 5th, 2015, I woke up and it was a day that started like most normal days. It was a Sunday. I had a headache and I felt blah, which was pretty normal. So I did several things to try to ease that yuckiness. I laid in the sun. I tried to read a book, tried to watch a movie, and nothing was bringing me any kind of comfort. So I got into a really hot shower, and as I'm standing there, I put my head under the water, and I hear what is the equivalent to me of a Tupperware lid popping. And I'm like, oh, what was that?
Oh my God.
Immediately followed by what felt like a rush of hot wax into my brain. So I'm standing there in the hot water. I turn the water cold, no relief. Turn the water hot, no relief. Turn the water cold, no relief. So finally, I crawl out on my hands and knees and climb into bed and fall asleep for about 3 hours. And when I woke up, the headache was there. It was more severe, though the blood feeling like I had hot wax in my head wasn't there. It was isolated to the back of my head. And so for 4 days, I tried to get relief from this headache. I got to the point where I couldn't even hold down water. And after the 4th day, I went to I went to urgent care, and urgent care took one look at me and said, "We can't help her here. You need to take her to a hospital. And do you want us to call an ambulance, or you just want to take her?" It was literally 2 miles up the road. And my husband said, "I'll just take her." So we fly to the hospital. We get to the hospital. They do a CAT scan. And then they also say, "We can't treat you here. You have a subarachnoid hemorrhage."
Say what I had.
Yeah. And so when they said that, my husband doesn't know anything about medical things. And he's like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Baby, I have bleeding in my brain." And he said, "Oh, what are we going to do?" And that's where the journey started. So with a team of 8 firefighters, they took me from one hospital to another hospital, where it was determined then that I needed a severe brain surgery. I needed a double craniotomy because I had a ruptured aneurysm and 3 other aneurysms that needed to be dealt with. And so they decide at that point that we're going to wait for the A team, which is this doctor who is one of the best neurosurgeons in the country. They're waiting for him because he had to fly out to help someone else. He comes in the morning, and then he tells us that I have a 4% chance of survival. That's the last thing I remember before going into surgery is I have bleeding in my brain and I have 4% chance.
Yeah. Okay.
And from there, it was 5 years in bed. I really felt like for 5 years that there was no hope for me. And that, the fear wasn't just that I almost died. It was that I was still going to. And if I went and did this, it was going to deplete my energy or cause another rupture, or it was just fear. I lived in a chronic state of fear. And what that does to the nervous system is shuts it down. If you're living in fight, flight, or fear, or any of those things, it really just, it causes physical problems.
Right.
And so the recovery from that, it's a life-altering experience. It's for all of you that have a stroke or an aneurysm rupture, that life after that is so vastly different than your life was before. And learning new ways to adapt and overcome and go around the problems instead of through the problems became a problem for me. Realize if you go around it and you avoid it, you never actually address the actual problem. And so for me, mindset means everything. If you're looking for opportunities, you're going to find them. If you're looking for problems, you're going to find them.
Yeah, Melissa, for me, being the CEO of Stroke TV, mindset is everything. To me, when I first had my brain aneurysm and stroke, same like you, I realized I went searching for support. All the support groups that I met, all based the value of the survivor on the ability to move the arm or whatever. But I realized if I met, believe it or not, a global business celebrity named Jeff Bezos said mindset is everything. And that's my journey behind the stake. But what's really amazing to me, about you, you took your storm, your brain aneurysm stroke, and then you did something with it. You turned it into something positive. You became a coach, a life coach, helps people life that just happens to be a stroke survivor. So you're expert like that. But you went back to school and you now are, I think you said you got 40 credentials, coaching credentials. So tell me a little bit about the transition from stroke survivor to now where you're at today, which is a published author. I mean, tell me about that journey.
After the aneurysm stroke, I realized that mindset would play when I realized at about the 5-year mark that mindset was going to play a crucial role in recovery, I embarked on this mindset of resilience and determination, and I focused on possibilities rather than limitations. I practiced gratitude for the small victories. I tied my shoes today. I brushed my teeth today. All the small things, even if it was just, I prayed today. Because some days as a survivor, you well know, Erin, sometimes that's not even possible. And so just embracing all of those small things. I have gratitude journals all over this house that I created myself, but I didn't feel like there was ever a journal I could go just buy and use that would fit the needs of me as a stroke survivor. And also, anybody with a we all have emotional stuff. We all do. But as a stroke and aneurysm survivor, that is almost as if it's magnified tenfold, where if there's a pain in your toenail when you're not a survivor, it's not a big deal. You just put your shoes on and carry on. But if you have a pain in your toenail and you have a brain injury, that pain in your toenail feels like it's busted.
Yeah.
And so mindset was everything. And then I started using mindset. I started transforming things, and my transformation journey was filled with all kinds of challenges, as you can imagine, but also with profound growth. Gratitude does so much for the human mind because you can't be grateful and hateful at the same time. So I would have to, at night, I forced myself to put away that hatred, the hatred of my body not being my own, my mind not being my own, not being able to drive. I had to put away all that hatred and be grateful. Because hateful and grateful, I mean, they are opposites. And so for me, gratitude made everything different. And then it went into journaling from there. And I've created things like a happiness box where I collect and print little sayings that make me happy. And then if I'm having a day where I've just had a day and everything feels like it's gone wrong and the world is stacked against me, I bring out that happiness box and I read those statements. And I read them out loud to myself so that my unconscious mind can hear them as well as, the conscious. And so all these little tiny things that I did seem to add up to so much. And people would be asking me, what are you doing? You're so different. What's going on? How are you doing this? And I'm like, well, I'm great. I write about gratuity all day long. I pray. And I've started all these, I color for happiness. I draw pictures. But this box meant everything to me. I still have this box and it's still full of stuff. And even 4 years later, since when my profound recovery really started, I go back to that box when I need to. When there's just been a really tough day and I feel defeated, I go to my box and it's full of trinkets and stickers and little things and maybe a penny I found on the road with a note attached to it. Just all those. And so at night, if I can't find something to be grateful for, my happiness box can.
It's it's funny. I had a mentor of mine in the beginning. He told me where your focus goes, your energy flows. And that's why gratefulness. People.
I use that same kind of statement, but mine's energy flows where your attention goes. Right? So be mindful what you pay attention to. Can you afford it?
Right.
And it really all just comes down to changing your mindset. Mindset is everything. It all starts there. And that's why for me, the gratuity journal, it had to start there. I am in the process of finishing my book to be published. My stroke of immersion book, how I use all of the tools that I use. They'll all be in there where folks can get links to different parts of this is how she did it. This is what happened. And it all really started. I stumbled into this process or this practice of, it's called the emotion code. And someone had shown it to me, and because you can buy the book and learn how to do it yourself, and someone had shown it to me, but the results that we got were completely negative results. And so I went out to research this. Is this actually a viable thing? Because how does it work? And I found out that it wasn't the practice that wasn't working. It was the provider. So the person who was trying to show me how it worked didn't know what they were doing, and they shouldn't have been doing it. And so I bought the book, I read the book, and I was like, oh, wow, this is really cool. And then I started doing this to myself. And this was in about March of 2020. And in May of 2020, I had the last migraine I've ever had. Because when I used the emotion code, I would ask my unconscious mind and my body, is there a trapped emotion that can be released right now that's related to this migraine? 100 emotions later, never had a migraine again. And, and my clients and for myself, it's something I use every day. I use it on my pets. I use it on my children. I mean, I use it on a squirrel outside who acts like he's got a bum leg. And it works on releasing the energy to whence it came. And so negative emotion has a very funny way of trapping itself all over our body, and it can cause all sorts of physical things. And when we're stroke survivors, unfortunately, we get treatment for all those physical things. We often get physical therapy. We often get other kinds of therapy, whatever it is for the physical things. But when it comes to the mental things, they don't know what to do with us because they have never seen a depression so bad as they will see in a stroke or aneurysm survivor or any other brain injury person. It is not the depression that you treat with an antidepressant, because with a brain injury, that antidepressant can have opposite effects. So it's really, we get lost in the shuffle because the treatment's too expensive or that it's not available because they don't know what to do and they can't think outside of their medical box. And that's where people like me come in to provide hope, because if they'd have told me your chances of survival are not great, but with hard work and perseverance, you should be able to see this through. No, is you have a 4% chance of survival. We don't know if you're going to ever walk, talk, breathe, or anything on your own again. Good night. And then coming to with that 4 days later, going, oh my gosh, 4%, and I'm still here. Like, really? It was a shock to me. When I woke up, I was shocked. I think my family were as well. But at the end of the day, that's not where the mindset shift didn't happen for me for 4 years after that. But I was with a team of therapists, psychiatrists, all these things, and they were just tossing medications at me and not really listening to the fact. And oftentimes the medications they were giving me for depression and anxiety were contraindicated to give to people with strokes. But they decided, and I wasn't advocating for myself very well, that the pros outweighed the cons. So it raises your blood pressure and can cause a stroke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then when I look back at those medicines, I'm like, really? This medication can cause a stroke. This medication can, I'm like, really? And so instead of making what I thought were the problems better at the time, they only got worse. And I made the rash decision in July of 2019, 4 years after I made this unwise decision to stop taking all of my 19 medications. I was on 19 medications. I never felt good. I couldn't get out of bed, all these things, and everything changed when I got that toxic. That don't ever do that, by the way. Don't ever go off of even one medication without your doctor's approval, because going off of all 19 of those medications short-circuited my brain. And I was running scared like I was in fight or flight 99% of the day. I was only sleeping 2 hours and I was running the rest of the time. Felt like I had time to make up for.
Wow.
Wrong way to go about it, but the end result,
Good. Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
Because now I am not on I'm on aspirin and thyroid medication. That's it.
Wow.
And
you know, I got to ask you went to catastrophic stuff, but you made the transition, and I know the mindset played differently. You're now helping stroke survivors and trauma survivors by what you went through. Which most stroke survivors tend to recall, be close, and crawl in their own cubby. But in all reality, you took what you applied in your own life. You now have a business called
quintessential immersion coaching. But just QI is so much easier.
Yeah.
But that is all about immersing you in all 5 of your senses. That's what the quint stands for, is the 5 senses. And then essential, those are the essential things to this process. So the 5 essential immersion things. So we immerse you in, when we're, say, doing a coaching session, we're immersing you on what do you see right now? What do you hear? What do you feel? And how can you take those feelings and anchor them so that the next time when you feel this way, you could pull this emotion instead. And it becomes an unconscious. So for me, they could not believe that my blood pressure, I was just in the hospital with colitis last week, and my blood pressure was 270 over 143 when I was done in triage. And I'm in there and I am in excruciating pain. And the doctor says, what's your pain level? And I'm like, a 12. And he's like, how are you so calm? I said, well, I use things like self-hypnosis and stuff like that to let me escape from the pain, even though it's only moments at a time, but it helps. And they just can't believe how calm I was. And I was laying there in so much pain that I could hardly breathe, but I have all these skills and techniques that I use daily, and they become such a part of my daily life so that when I am in crisis, I don't have to struggle. It's there. It's built in. It's ready to go. It's my system. It's my system default is calm. So when tragedy strikes,
how do people now you do coaching?
Yes.
And there's no such thing as a stroke coach from here. But
there is. You can get certified as a stroke coach, but it really,
It's
The
like
people that I'm finding that are certified as a stroke coach, most of them don't have any experience as a stroke survivor. And that's what I offer. I offer the other side of this coin, which you can't find nearly anywhere. I have been there.
Mhm.
And
That's huge. I mean, count on. There's no, my experience for 10 years serving the stroke survivor and stroke community, nobody knows you like another stroke survivor. You know what it's like to go through the darkness, the dark, extreme darkness of stroke. But I'm curious, now we're just like I said, half an hour is going to go by quick. But how do people get a hold of you to do coaching?
I have a website. It's simply theqicoach.com. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I'm out there on all the different socials so I can be found. I offer one-on-one coaching sessions, emotion code sessions, all sorts of sessions. I also offer a whole package, which includes, from gratitude to the end of your day and walks through different things to do throughout the process of your day that enhance your life. And
Yeah,
so
you and I talked about gratitude. Now so you've been through hell and back, so to speak, but you took your storm, you found your purpose. And your purpose is to help people like me, and we're gonna get into that more together privately. But I'm curious, you're now a published author.
I have a journal, but yeah.
It's amazing. And I know there's only a couple few people out there, but Melissa and I will be doing, first of all, I'll put all the links to Melissa's books, her published books, the way to get a hold of your stroke survivor to stock. I said yes to call Melissa. She can help me get unstuck. So many stroke survivors like us, they get stuck in this dark place and they're basically not living, they're not enjoying life again.
And what is the opposite of dark?
Light.
Light. That's what I bring. The light. What is the opposite of hatred? Gratitude. What is the opposite? That's kind of where my flow goes, is looking for opportunities. So, say, what's the opposite of evil? Good. I mean, there's just so many. It's really about trying to pull, if you can, that opposite, to do a complete mindset shift, to do a line in the sand mindset shift, to decide I'm not looking at the issues anymore. I'm not looking at my limitations. I'm not looking at possible outcomes. I'm not looking at 10 years down the road. I am looking at today, and I'm looking at what I can do today, and I'm going to be grateful for it today. Tomorrow is its own beast, and yesterday, there's not a darn thing you can do about it. And you really, sitting here today, you can't really do anything about what's going to happen at noon tomorrow either, right? It's completely out of your control. The only thing in our control is right now, this moment. And that's what it was for me. What can I do in this moment? And it wasn't thinking about, oh my goodness, I have to do this, and this tomorrow. It's, oh my goodness, what can I do to be present and grateful in this moment?
Wow. Yeah. Don't look forward. Don't look back. Live in the moment. I'm living now.
There is one reason that the rear view mirror is so small, right? And the windshield is so big.
Right.
Because this is all you need of your past, and this is what you need to see your future.
And that is powerful.
It's all mindset shifts. It really is. And interrupting old patterns. It works with, quitting habits and limiting beliefs. And as stroke survivors, I feel like we have a whole plethora of limiting beliefs going in our head. From I may never walk again to, all the things that fall in between. Once you have survived a stroke, you're at a point, or I was at least, I didn't know if I was coming or going. I didn't know who I was, what I was supposed to do with this. All I know is that I have massive headaches, and they say I had a ruptured brain aneurysm and a stroke, and a 10-foot scar, or 10-inch scar to go along with all of that. But even then, it didn't seem real or right. Like, how could I have lived through that? How? And I spent 4 years feeling sorry for myself. And then I woke up one day and just decided that wasn't good enough for me. I was either going to thrive or I was going to die trying. And so in 2019, when I made this shift, I was barely out of bed, maybe once a week for a few hours. And I started in bed and I started doing this. And this is what I call dancing. I would turn on the music and drown out all the pain, and I would just move. And before you know it, I was doing it in my laundry room and then my living room. And then I'm dancing while I'm making dancing. I call it dancing. It wasn't really dancing, but I was moving my body in such a way that even if I was cutting onions, I was trying to move other parts of my body just to get it back into shape. And before I knew it, I was back at the gym, back driving, all the things. It just kind of fell together. And that was only because that mindset shift that happened, that I don't want this for me. And
So I'm curious, can you, as a coach, help say that stroke survivors are stuck, which most stroke survivors are. They're waiting, they're just not moving, not going forward. Can you help them transition from the darkness to the light?
that's what I specialize in, is immersing someone in their own, getting rid of limiting beliefs, all that stuff, and immersing people into a life that they, this is what I want. We don't speak about what we don't want. We don't speak about all the adversity in our lives. We speak on what we do want. We breathe life into what we want instead of giving life to what we don't. And I feel like that makes the hugest shift in your energy as a person. Like if I'm sitting here thinking about, if I sit here and dwell all day long, I had a stroke, I'm not good, I can't do this, I can't do that, no one's ever going to trust me. I don't care. You either do or you don't. But at the end of the day, I didn't want to live like that. And I was going to either, like I said, I was going to either make a huge comeback or I was going to die trying. And, with the beautiful help of God and everything else in the universe, my deciding that I was going to do whatever it took let me heal to this level. And it was all in my mindset that made that possible, because I could still be laying in that bed, being a victim of stroke and adversity and everything, and be hateful towards God and everyone else. I was angry with others because they didn't have a stroke, and I would be angry and because I couldn't communicate right, and people just don't understand the gravity of what happens to your brain when you have a stroke and what it does to the physical body and what the physical body then does back to the brain. And I felt like I was just trapped in this vicious storm, and it was like a light went off. I just can release trapped emotion and then I can walk. I can release trapped emotion and then I don't have headaches anymore, and I can release trapped
That's where
emotion.
the immersion code comes in.
Yeah, the emotion code. Yeah, that's what started all of this. And I went on, like you said, to get, I think I have 48-ish certificates right now in all different things, mental health coaching for youth and adults. And so I can coach young stroke victims as well on the mental health side. And
Wow.
so it's all about just offering. Everything I do is not going to work for everybody, but having this vast knowledge, there is something that I do that will work for everybody.
Now, how do people get a hold of you? What's the best? Give me your best social media, or how do people get a coaching service?
My Facebook page is the best way to get in touch with me, either with messages and you can easily book a discovery call right on my Calendly, on my QI. If you go to my website, my Calendly is right there. You can click discovery call and schedule a free 15-minute conversation with me to see if there's, if we're a fit, what you're looking for and how I might be able to help you heal through that.
And I want everybody to know out there, I will put the links after the show. I'll get all the links for Melissa's contact. If you want to hire a stroke coach, get in stock. Or you want to see her gratitude journal. I'll put all the links within the description of the video. Melissa, we're down. I can't believe it. I told you it go by quick.
Out of time.
Yeah, I know. But do me a favor. If there's a newer stroke survivor out there, what advice would you give the newer stroke survivor right now?
The first order of business in that is acceptance. Accept this happened and try to focus on possibilities instead of limitations, because as you know, each one of us stroke survivors comes with a different set of limitations. The brain is something that's so unknown that you and I could have the exact same brain injury or the same aneurysm on the same artery on the same day, and one of us could pass and one of us would thrive. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. And so the most important thing you can give yourself as a stroke survivor is patience. Be patient with yourself. When the words don't come out right, be patient. When the legs don't want to walk up the stairs, be patient. When you have an affected limb, be patient with it. It's got to relearn. Patience and gratitude is everything. You have to give yourself grace.
Wow, that is an awesome way to end the podcast. Gotta be time's up, but I just think about it. I can't wait to talk to you more about the gratitude and the emotional, getting my arm out emotions, like getting that moving forward, even where I'm at. So, but I want to thank you, Melisa. It's been an honor to know you as a stroke sister. Thank you for being on the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, we go. Let me get it. I want to say, people, I have been doing this many years, and Melissa, you sister are the real deal. Well, I call the real deal. And I appreciate being out there for our community. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right. So we'll see you soon. And you and I are going to be giving away we'll be doing some raffles in Second Chance Stroke Survivors community. Melissa's offered to give us some journals or gratitude journals and stuff. And so we look for those coming out of the community in the next month or so. But thanks again, Melissa.
Thank you, Aaron.
All right, bye.
Bye.